Welcome back to our channel, where we discuss how to value and sell small and lower middle market businesses. Our tagline, as many of you may know, is every business that doesn't fail will sell. Every one. If you're a business owner, this includes yours. It will eventually sell. So when you come to market, you have to make a fairly important strategic decision up front. And that is, do you bring your business to market with a price, or do you bring it to market without a price and let buyers bid on it? Now, each of these approaches has their own specific pros and cons. Each can dramatically impact your final sale price, your timeline, and the types of buyers you originally attract. In this video, I explain both methods, so hopefully it will help you choose which is the proper approach for you and for your business. But before we begin, this discussion is predicated upon knowing what your business is actually worth and pricing it properly relative to that value. Both of these topics are discussed in our How Much Is My Business Worth playlist, which I will link to in the description below. So let's take the first, listing with a price. This is how most businesses come to market, particularly small and lower middle market ones. But there are pros and cons to this. If you list with a price, you control the narrative. The price sets an anchor. Buyers know what ballpark you're in, and it filters out people that are far outside your value range. Buyers are often more comfortable engaging with a business that has a price. Small business buyers, especially first-time buyers, like certainty, and most buyers of sub-$5 million businesses are first-timers. A price gives them confidence to engage, to inquire, to ask questions, and to take the various steps as they go through the process. They don't feel so intimidated just because they lack experience. You'll likely receive faster inquiries from qualified buyers if you have a price set. If your valuation is accurate and the price reflects that valuation, listing with a price often produces more inquiries early on. The key here, of course, is that the price must reflect your business's value. Publicizing a price works best for most Main Street and lower middle market businesses. Those businesses with less than $2 or $2.5 million in discretionary earnings, or EBITDA, tend to get better traction when there's a price attached to them and it's publicized. On the downside, if you misprice it, you lose leverage. We discussed this in length in our video, How to Price Your Business to Sell. If you put a price that's too low, you leave money on the table. If you price it too high, the chances are it will never sell until you correct that problem. Now, if you publish a price, buyers will almost always assume that it's a mere suggestion. Your price is negotiable. It's true, but you have to recognize that, and we go over that in detail in our video series on how to price your business. Even if your valuation is solid, most buyers assume there's room to bargain, so you have to make sure you know how to price it in relation to value. And finally, an established number limits the upside, and it limits competitive tension. A fixed price establishes a cap. Recognize that fact. If you put a price on it, no buyer will offer more than you ask, and an established price is your ask. An established price removes the potential upside of having multiple buyers bid against each other. Now let's talk about listing without a price. This is an auction format. This approach also has its pros and cons. On the upside, the auction creates competitive tension. When multiple buyers are in the mix, an auction environment can push the price up, the sale price up, to a price higher than what you would have established yourself. No cap is established when you bring a business to market without a price fixed. Now, this is an ideal approach for high demand businesses or those likely to appeal to strategic buyers. If your business has something in common, strong recurring revenue, for example, proprietary processes, large contracts, limited competition, buyers may bid aggressively. Businesses such as managed service providers, HVAC contractors, commercial landscaping businesses, and businesses with extremely strong brands are generally well suited to an auction process. Buyers of such businesses focus on value, what they think your business is worth, not what you think the business is worth. So instead of arguing with your asking price, they make offers based on what they think your business will do for their existing business, what the business is worth to them. This is a very important distinction, particularly with regard to strategic buyers. Now, on the downside, fewer inquiries from first-time buyers are likely to occur when you come to market with the auction. Most mom-and-pop buyers hate seeing no price. Having not been through the process previously, most are uncomfortable. No price is established, no guideline. They don't know where to start. They'll assume no price equals too expensive. A bid approach can also drag out the process. More bidders means more showings, means more questions, means more data requests, and often means longer time to sort and filter serious owners. Any auction process must have a deadline. If the business doesn't sell during that bidding period, we often suggest to the sellers to take it off the market and bring it back 4, 5, 6 months later with a price. A bid approach also requires a disciplined brokerage process. Running an auction properly means managing deadlines, vetting and qualifying buyers, preventing leaks, keeping the process controlled. It takes focus, in a word. But remember, you also have to run your business at the same time so it doesn't lose any of its value. That also takes focus. We have not seen anybody who could do both without damaging both processes. So this means a professional business broker or an M&A specialist will need to be involved. Finally, a bid approach is not good for a distressed business or commodity businesses. If the business is weak, for example, or it's just average, or there's you're in a saturated industry, no price just turns buyers off. So, how do you determine which approach to use? Well, use a price when your business is easy to value. Retail, service, small manufacturing, and similar businesses. Use a price when your buyers are price sensitive. First-time buyers are a perfect example of that. Use a price if you want a faster, simpler process. And use a price if you're not expecting a bidding war. But you might consider using an auction format when your business has strong financials and differentiators such as hard to obtain license or certifications, lucrative long-term contracts, or a wide moat that discourages competition. Use the auction process if the market is highly competitive for businesses like yours. You might use an auction when you can make a strong argument for value above typical valuation multiples. And you should consider using an auction process if you expect interest from private equity and strategic buyers. So how do we advise sellers? As I've discussed in our earlier videos, business owners generally tend to have an exaggerated opinion of the value of their business, and as a result, they come up with a number that just comes out of the blue and bears no relation to the financial performance of their business. So consider this. If your validation is solid and the business is priced properly, and demand for businesses like yours is strong, listing with a price works well. But if your business is genuinely exceptional or difficult to price, going to market without a price and creating a controlled competition process can add a handsome premium to your final sale price. The key is knowing which situation you're in before you make the strategic decision. Of course, the prerequisite here, again, is knowing what your business is likely worth before you get started. Because if you intend to come to market without a price, you have to know whether or not the offers you receive reflect the business's value. In our next video, I'm going to discuss the phenomenon of client concentration and how that can impact both the value of your business and its sellability. So subscribe so you don't miss that one or any of our future weekly videos on valuing and selling businesses. You'll find links to our What's My Business Worth playlist and as well as several other resources in the description below. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.